Hi, I'm Molly Haase, the Chair of the Government Affairs Task Force for the Leawood Chamber. This interview is being conducted on behalf of the Johnson County Public Policy Council, comprised of the Johnson County Chambers and the Greater Kansas City Chamber. Jointly, we host a website, votejoco.com, a nonpartisan website where voters can learn more about candidates running for public office. Many of the candidates we'll be interviewing have completed questionnaires that can also be found on votejoco.com. Today we have with us Jane Dirks, a candidate for state representative for the 20th District, covering parts of Overland Park and Leawood. Thank you, Jane, for joining us today to share with our members and visitors to votejoco.com more about you and what your priorities will be if elected. We want to start today by spending 3 to 4 minutes with you telling us a little bit more about you and why you chose to run for the State House.
Good morning, Molly. Thanks for taking the time to interview me. My name is Jane Dirks, and I'm running for the 20th District. My husband and I have been married for 37 years, and we have lived in Overland Park, Kansas for 35 years. Part of that time we lived in Knoll Hills, and then now we're down in Nottingham Downs. So we have stayed in the 20th District the entire time we've lived in the area. We have 4 kids that we've raised here, and now we're fortunate to have all 4 of those children live in the Kansas City metro area, and we've been blessed with 7 grandchildren. So because we had such a wonderful lifestyle raising our children here, that's one of my main goals, is to continue to keep the same lifestyle for our children and grandchildren. That includes keeping our property taxes low, and also just creating a great environment for businesses to move into town, as well as good quality student education for our students K through 12.
Thank you. These next few questions will focus on some key business issues that our chamber members have told us are of importance to them. If you could spend about 2 minutes responding to each of these questions, that'll allow us some time at the end for you to make some closing remarks. What do you see as the top 3 business policy issues facing the state of Kansas in the coming year?
I think, well, for me, the top 3 issues are to get health care, give us other options for that. Also, student-focused education and limited government. Those are probably my top 3.
Thank you. Given the current economic situation, balancing the state budget will undoubtedly be a huge task in the coming year. What specific steps do you feel are key to making this happen?
I think, first of all, we just have to wait and see and take 6 months here and see what happens and how the COVID crisis has affected us economically, and then make decisions based on how we stand 6 months from now. I know that, small businesses have been hurt, and we need to get those back up and running so that we can get revenue generated for the state. So it is going to be tricky managing all that, but I want to take a wait and see focus to see how things go before I make decisions on what would be best practices.
Can you share with us your views on K through 12 education funding in Kansas?
Well, I'm glad that the legislators decided to control that. You know, they came up with a plan 2 years ago, I think in 2019. So the schools are fully funded. I want them to continue, so I really focus on getting the money into the classrooms to help the teachers. And I really focused on individualized education for each student so that they can achieve what they would like to achieve upon graduation.
Thank you. What are your views on healthcare policy and Medicaid expansion in Kansas?
As a Republican, I'm against Medicaid expansion. I would like to see other private sector opportunities. I would also like the federal government to increase the amount that you can put in your health savings account. I think those are probably the biggest issues in the healthcare.
Thank you. What do you believe most distinguishes you from your opponent in this race?
I think the main thing is that one of the reasons why I ran is because I wanted to follow the Kansas Republican Party platform. And so I felt that my opponent has not voted alongside the Republican Party platform, and in particular, the Medicaid issue was one thing that he was for, Medicaid expansion. So that was one of the main reasons that I ran, and one of the distinguishing factors between the two of us.
Thank you for responding to all these questions. In closing, could you spend 3 to 4 minutes with a summary of statement for our viewers?
Well, I think, as I said, since we have lived here so long and had such a wonderful lifestyle here, I would like to continue that. That means giving businesses just the opportunity to come in and have well-trained students that have graduated so that they can fulfill those job opportunities. And I would like everybody to have their children stay as we had ours here in Kansas City to help the economy. I really am thankful for this opportunity to express my concerns and my suggestions, and I just would appreciate your vote on August 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, Jane, for joining us today and sharing this very important information with voters in this race. As a reminder, more information for all the candidates can be found on votejoco.com.